Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by my channel. Today's video we're going to be doing an AMA Ask Me Anything color and chat. I had wanted to do a color and chat for a while now. People do ask me, why don't you do color and chat? So I thought if I could get some ideas from you guys out there, what kind of things you would like to hear me talk about. And I put up a poll and about 45% of you said you'd like to see an Ask Me Anything. I want to thank everyone who left me some questions. I really appreciate it, helping me out to make this video. Some of the questions were the same question. You know, people asked me the same or similar kind of a question. So what I did is I just took all those questions and I kind of combined them all together to make kind of a more concise list of questions for myself. All right, so I picked out a page from this PDF book by Amandine Jung called Pinups. I do have a flip through of this up on my channel if you'd like to check it out in more detail if you haven't seen it yet. It's a really cute book. I'm gonna do this one, this clown pinup. What's her name? They all have names. Let's see what this one's name is. Sandra. So we're gonna color Sandra. I think I'm going to be pulling my pastel Ohuhu markers for this page. So let's get right into this AMA and get coloring. So this AMA video is actually pretty perfect timing. I didn't plan it that way, but it's my channel's 1-year anniversary this month. The first videos I ever posted were 2 on the same day, August 5th, 2021. It was a flip through of Nelko Neko's Story of Precious Cats and Erie's postcard book. Okay, so the first question is, what is your favorite color? Currently, I would say maybe blue, but I really like all colors, so I have a tough time deciding on just one color. The only colors that aren't my favorites, I would say, might be green or brown. What is your favorite food? Probably macaroni and cheese or pizza, even though I'm trying to cut down on eating so much pizza. My favorite dessert, I would have to say, would be tiramisu. The next question is, what is your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign? My sun sign is in Scorpio, and both my moon and my rising signs are in Cancer. How old are you? I'll just say I'm in my mid-40s. I don't want to make it too easy to get my identity stolen. I get so many spam emails in my coloring emails for this channel since I started. I probably have mentioned it in one of my other videos, I'm sure, but for the person who asked me, if you really want to know, you can message me and I'll tell you my exact age if you want. Do you have any siblings and do they do anything artistic? Yes, I do have some siblings, but they're a lot younger than me. Maybe like my next oldest sibling after me is about 15 years younger than me, and the rest of them are even younger. My one sister is very good at drawing and knitting. She can make things like a sweater without even having a pattern. I have no idea how she does it. My mother is really good at sewing. She used to make all of my Halloween costumes when I was a kid, and my dad was a musician. So I kind of have a pretty artistic family, I guess. What is your process for picking colors? I don't really have one. It's very rare if I plan out what colors I'm going to be using. I might have a rough idea, but usually I just pick whatever colors I feel like in the moment. I do have some color combos I've made up and I wrote them down in my notebook. I know a lot of people like to use color palettes to help them decide on what colors to use, but for me, it kind of stresses me out to have to stick to a particular set of colors like that. What is your all-time favorite coloring book? That's a tough one for me to answer. It could change from an hour from now what I would say would be my favorite, but right now I would have to say Nocturnes by Anastasia Koldareva. I do really love Hannah Carlson books a lot. I think she's my favorite of all time, probably one of her books. But I am really enjoying Anastasia Koldareva's books currently, and yeah, so Nocturnes, I'll pick Nocturnes by Anastasia Koldareva today. You ask me another day, I might tell you a different answer. What is your favorite animal? Definitely cats. I love how independent they are. They're pretty low maintenance. They don't require a lot of attention. They come and go as they please. Maybe 1 minute they love you, the next minute they don't want anything to do with you, and that's fine with me. I feel like I kind of have a similar personality to a cat, actually. How long have you been coloring? I've been coloring since June of 2020, so just a little bit over 2 years now. What are your favorite sets of pencils? I have a few, but right now Prismacolors, Starjoy Gold, and Arctics. Those are my top 3 that I like to use a lot now. I guess just like my favorite color, that could change too. So currently, Starjoy Golds, I think I've been using a lot in conjunction with my Prismacolors, and then Arctics is kind of slid in there as one of my new favorites. Do you have any coloring goals? I don't think I have any particular ones per se. I really just color for fun, but I would like to get better at coloring animals, especially birds or anything without fur, like reptiles or dragons, because kind of like animals with fur, you kind of can approach it similar to how you would color a human's hair. So kind of that technique can work for animals, but birds or reptiles, that's what I struggle with a little bit. Do you ever get into coloring slumps? What do you do to get out of it? Not really. If I don't feel like coloring, I just don't. I'll go days or weeks without coloring, or sometimes I'll color for days on end, like for hours and hours. Just depends on kind of my mood. Sometimes I will forget how I did a certain technique, like coloring hair or what colors I used. That gets me a little bit frustrated. That's why I started trying to write down what I did for particular pages that I would think I wanted to try it again. Because a lot of times I color something once and I totally forget how I did it or what I did. So writing stuff down has helped me a lot. What book got you interested in adult coloring? There wasn't any particular book that got me interested, but during the pandemic, I was looking for something to do. Coloring was something I decided to try after my failed attempt at paint by numbers. But it was always something I kind of had in the back of my mind to try. I just never really had time to get started. But I looked on Amazon. I was looking on Amazon for books, and I think they were having a buy one, get one half price sale. So I discovered Hannah Carlson's books. They were part of that sale. So I ordered Jewelry Box and Summer Nights. I was like, wow, I didn't know coloring books like this existed with hardcovers and everything. So it was over for me after that. Those were my first 2 coloring books. Now I have over 200 coloring books in my collection. Do you have any other hobbies? No, not really. If I'm not coloring or making a YouTube video, well, I guess YouTube is kind of like my hobby. So yeah, making YouTube videos is my other hobby. If I'm not doing that, I'm working on listings for my eBay store, or I'm doing inventory for my eBay store. I also have a store on Poshmark, but I also have a part-time job, so it doesn't leave me much time for anything else. I would like to try cross-stitching and maybe even get back into trying paint by numbers again. Are you loving your new coloring art room? Yes, I am loving it. Even though it's still a big mess, I feel more relaxed having a space just for coloring and making my YouTube videos. Before, I was making them at my kitchen table and I had everything all over the place in every different room. I would have to stop in the middle sometimes of filming if my neighbors were making noises in the hallway. Plus, I felt kind of embarrassed wondering if they could hear me talking to myself. So now I'm farther away. I have everything I need in one room. It's so much more quiet, and so I'm really loving it a lot. Did you go to school for art? No, I didn't go to school for art, but I went to school for fashion marketing and management. I did have some classes in color and design, and I worked for a very long time in visual merchandising, and I was an e-commerce stylist for a few years. I had always had an interest in color and color theory, probably since I was around maybe 5, or at least since I can remember. I would love putting my crayons in color order, and I would play with food coloring a lot to make different colors and do little color experiments like that. Art and science were always my favorite subjects in school. When adults would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would always say an artist. Unfortunately, I can't draw, so that's why I had to find different, but still kind of adjacent creative outlets. And the final question is, do you enjoy YouTube? Is it different than you thought it would be? I do enjoy it. Sometimes I do get frustrated making a video because I really have a hard time starting a YouTube video. It'll take me a couple of tries to get started because I get tongue-tied, or I mess up doing my intro. The intro is the hardest part of doing these YouTube videos for me anyway. The intro and the outro, I always struggle a bit, but once I get going, you know, in the middle of the video, I'm okay. But it has been a really positive experience for the most part. I was worried at the beginning people were going to be mean or write rude comments, stuff like that. I do get a few now and then, but they're not even really that bad. I try and practice the kill them with kindness method. I really started this channel just to show flip-throughs of my books and maybe give some of my opinions on colored pencils. When I first started coloring, I ended up joining a lot of coloring groups on Facebook, and people would often ask me for flips of books or ask me where I got some of my books and supplies. I didn't expect I would ever have over 1,000 subscribers, so I'm very grateful for all of you guys who subscribe to me and always leave me such nice comments. I've made so many good friends along the way, so I guess it was a good thing that I was so bad at painting by numbers. Alright, so that about does it for our Ask Me Anything color and chat. I know it wasn't too long. I didn't have that many questions to answer, so I did have to speed up the video a little bit so it could match up with the beginning and the ending. So I hope everyone has a really great day. Happy coloring, and I'll see you next time.